Now, Paris has summoned the Russian ambassador to France over an obscene tweet. The tweet from the Russian embassy's Twitter handle depicting war crimes in Bucha were faked, similar to a movie set. For more on this story, we can bring in our international affairs commentator, Douglas Herbert.
Yeah.
Doug, Moscow seems to be spinning its disinformation campaign both inside and outside Russia.
Yeah, Moscow's propagandists are being caught out in the absolute absurdity of their claims and contradictions and counterclaims. And rather than coming clean, you can't do that if you're a propagandist. You have to basically double down. And no matter how ludicrous, outrageous the conspiracy theory may sound, you keep spewing it. Look, Russia's top search engine, it's called Yandex. It has warned its users that some of their searches, if you type in Bucha in its search engine, have been omitted. So a lot of the images that come up are only Bucha pre-war, nice Bucha, modern buildings, bright images of a nice, vibrant little town. At the same time, this whole, I don't know what else to call it, but a ridiculous trumped-up conspiracy theory. This propaganda motif that this was staged, that Bucha were either Ukrainians shelling themselves, killing their own civilians, or literally actors having been placed there on the set, as we can see. You had
the pictures.
On the first channel, which is the leading state-run propaganda outlet, one of the presenters basically said that they saw you can see one of the bodies raising their arm, and in another one you could see one getting up, standing up as if they knew that the role they were playing was over. They were just actors and they could stand up. One was raising the arm as if to say, is it over yet? Can I stand up? Media Zone, which looks into, fake images and videos and tries to verify them, basically called it out and said, well, that raised arm was actually a speck on the windshield from which the camera was shooting from. And the victim that was supposedly the dead body that supposedly stood up because the role they played was over was really a distortion of a side view mirror in a car that was filming this. So, if you actually do the verification of the videos, you can find very simple explanations for all of these. But Russian state media is seizing upon anything it can to continue to propagate, and that is the word, this absurd conspiracy that this is all somehow a stage set, that these bodies were put there. There is an absolutely, I'll use the word, you can't, but I'll use it, repulsive media personality named Vladimir Solovyov in Russia. He has his own show. He is basically the most rancid mouthpiece of the state-run propaganda news media. He said, is it just coincidence on a recent show
I heard about this.
that, Bucha and the English word butcher, they happen, what a happy coincidence that they happen to be so similar. He's suggesting this is clearly the work of British, I don't know, he singled out British specialists, Solano, of course, working. They chose Bucha to play act, to stage this scene because it would make for titillating headlines in the Western media. Bucha, butcher, and in French, boucher. Yeah, there's a similarity there. I think I'll let our viewers decide what to do with that one. One anchor has even condemned these alleged victims, calling these alleged victims, these bodies in civilian clothes strewn on the streets that the whole world is seeing, as traffic offenders who were merely, I guess, shot for
and unfortunately, these war crimes, alleged war crimes in Bucha, are set to continue now that the conflict is entering its 7th week.
Yeah, and they're set to continue, not because I'm standing here saying they're set to continue. Obviously, the Ukrainians say this is just the tip of the iceberg with what we're going to see with the atrocities. Yes, Bucha has become sort of emblematic, of the types of atrocities of war and the most horrific things we've seen out of Bucha, but that there are countless other towns that have either been occupied and are yet to be, really investigated and discovered, or are still under occupation, which Russian forces are yet to retreat, if ever they will retreat. And the horrors that await there, basically, we're being told, might make Bucha pale in comparison. We've heard reports throughout Ukraine of rapes, of tortures of civilians, of disappearances, even of people being forcibly disappeared or taken and put in filtration camps in Russia. The fates of a lot of civilians are going to, in the weeks and months, unfortunately, to come, are going to be revealed. There was a vicious propaganda piece in the Russian state press of RIA Novosti is a state news agency. It ran this weekend. It's been getting a lot of talk. What should Russia do with Ukraine? And it was about really taking this propaganda to its logical conclusion. It's really what Putin said, the denazification of Ukraine. It says you need de-Ukrainization. And it's basically a recipe for essentially eliminating Ukrainians. I mean, there's no other way of putting it.
Sort of genocide.
Anyone who genocide in a sense. Anyone who carried arms, the Nazis who were complicit or helped those carrying arms. It is a recipe for I don't know really what, purifying Ukraine, de-Ukrainianizing it. But this was an article that really is the thinking of Vladimir Putin himself. Obviously, it was in another name, a propagandist name, but the fact that it's in a major state-run media, a lot of Russians believe this. They've drunk the Kool-Aid. They subscribe to these theories, and they actually believe that Ukraine right now needs this denazification, purification, de-Ukrainization.
Douglas, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much for that, Douglas Herbert there.